Welcome back to that handicapping show at bloodhorse.com. I'm Tom LaMarra, joined again by Claire Novak. And on this week's show, we'll be looking at a pair of Grade 1 races for fillies and mares. The $750,000 Delaware Handicap at 1.25 miles, and the $300,000 TVG Coaching Club American Oaks long name 1 1/8 at Saratoga. Interesting races here because in the Del Cap, which drew a field of 6, two of the horses, Authenticity and Summer Applause, were both entered in the Chevy, a Grade 3 up at Saratoga on Saturday the same day. So we could be left with a 4-horse field in the Del Cap, one of which, of course, is Royal Delta, last year's winner, who figures to be the heavy favorite. Claire, what do you think about the race?
Well, it's very interesting because last year you had Royal Delta and Tismis Sue, who hooked up in a really exciting stretch duel, and Royal Delta did prevail, but narrowly. She was the high weight in the field, and Tismis Sue was carrying considerably less weight. She comes into this race in a little different of a position than she was last year. Last year she had won impressively at Churchill Downs before she came here, and this time out she comes off a rather disappointing loss in the same race out there. So she will be the favorite, and she should be, but I don't really think that she prefers the Delaware Park surface. I think she got the job done there last year, but I wouldn't necessarily consider her to be a lock in this spot, especially considering the fact that you do have a limited number of horses in the field and you're not exactly sure. I also am curious to see how she's going to run this time, because in recent races towards the end of her year, she tended to go out more towards the lead last year, and in fact was very impressive in the Ladies Classic when she won that way. But in this race last year, she came from off the pace, so I'm not sure how that's going to set up, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, there is some speed, although I think the speed's going to scratch, which, so in other words, it wouldn't surprise me if Royal Delta did go to the front in this race. She obviously has a good shot. I went with Centring, who drew the outside post 6, which could be post 4 or 5 by post time, but ran a good third in the Ogden Phipps Grade 1, around 1 turn at Belmont. Has not won a stakes, but I think she may be, she's 5 years old. This may be her time to shine. I think her last race was an indication that maybe she's ready to do something big. I'm just taking a shot in this race. May end up just watching it.
Yeah, and I think And Why Not, who is a horse who has done well over the track, even though she doesn't have a win here, she comes off a third in the OBS stakes, or a second, I'm sorry, by just a neck. So she almost got the job done there. Yeah, it was a Grade 3, but she hasn't ever run poorly over this surface. So I would say, why not? She carries considerably less weight than Royal Delta does. And so I'm going to go with her just because I really, Authenticity and Summer Applause are both really nice horses, but my gut feeling is that they both stay at the spa. If they weren't cross-entered and if they were both just in this race, I would look at them more sincerely. So potentially, if one of them stays here.
Yeah, I would lean toward the Chad Brown trained Summer Applause, if in fact she is in the race. We'll find out on Saturday. But the Coaching Club American Oaks, this one only drew 5 at Saratoga, 1 1/8 miles. Claire and I were talking earlier. I'm just going to take the Kentucky Oaks winner, Princess of Silmar, the Pennsylvania bred, who really has never run a bad race for Todd Pletcher. And, we'll see how she does. She's had a little bit of time off, but has been training regularly and steadily at Saratoga. I don't know if she'll be the favorite or not, but that's who I'm picking.
Yeah, she won the Oaks at 38-1, and this race is really a good test for her to see if she is that quality or if that was just a fluke. When she was winning the stakes back at Aqueduct that she won very impressively, and the question was whether she could step up into graded company, and she did prove that she has. But I just wonder if some of those other horses who were in there, like Dreaming of Julia, who got a bad start, and Unlimited Budget, who ran 4th in the Oaks, maybe they were just having a bad day and they outclassed her as far. I just don't see how she measures up yet. So this is going to be a great test to see how she does. I'm going to go with an exacta in here. I like Unlimited Budget. She was a very talented filly early on before she ran. Actually, she was 3rd in the Oaks, and then she came back and ran 6th in the Belmont against the boys. Todd Pletcher said physically she came out of that race fine. He didn't feel like she disgraced herself. It's a very tough spot to put a filly in. And the fact that they did put her in there speaks to how much they think about her quality. So I'm going to go with her. And then also My Happy Face, who I'm really happy to see in this spot. And I think this filly is actually, I think she's sneaky good. I don't think people really quite realize how good she is, because if you look at the horses that she's run second to, horses like Quai Katie, Dreaming of Julia, and if you look back to the Frisette, which I remember watching, they got in this neck and neck battle down the stretch. It was very exciting. She's really a tenacious filly. And she got transferred from Rudy Rodriguez to Chad Brown, who has her now at Saratoga, and won an overnight stakes at Belmont last time out on June 13th by 2.5 lengths. I really do think that she's a nice filly, and so she broke her maiden at Saratoga by 21 and like a quarter, something like that. She just rolled down the stretch her first win. So she really likes Saratoga, and I think she'll be good in here.
All right. Those are our 2 races for this weekend, and we hope that you do enjoy the opening weekends at Saratoga and at Del Mar on the West Coast. So for Claire, I'm Tom. We'll see you next time on That Handicapping Show.